What you're looking at now is a liminal space, a place that gives you a sense of nostalgia but with a place you've never been to. But even though they give you a weird sense of nostalgia, they still feel empty, lonely, and melancholic. And in this video, I'm going to be taking my very own. The very idea of a liminal space is just so cool to me. Just a place and nothing else giving you that feeling of just like melancholic nostalgia is just like mind-blowing. I still really can't understand how it happens. But you can't just go around taking pictures of like your mom's basement and calling it liminal. So here are the rules of liminality, the liminal rules. The fairy godparents rules. We're gonna be taking three types of photos: liminal, dreamcore, and making the stuff in 3D. Starting off with the three types of liminal photos, which is nostalgic, creepy, and I didn't really know what to call the third one. Nostalgic is the places that you remember from your childhood and then rips that feeling away and gives you the melancholic sense of nostalgia because you know that you'll never get those moments back ever again. Creepy is the places not like terrifying that'll like make your skin melt off in fear, but more so places that are a little off, creepy and weird. And finally, just the places that give you that feeling of anemoia, familiarity and nostalgia with a place you've never been to, which pretty much applies to all of them, but not really tied into a specific feeling. But the rules that all liminal photos must follow no matter what is no people. There can literally be 0 people in the photo. Not like a frog, not your cat, not your best friend, not your grandpa, not your car, not even me, not even me. There is so much as a microorganism in the photo. You suck! See this guy? This guy right here? Didn't think so. I didn't think you saw him at all. Lighting is very important. If it's a dark photo, you're gonna want the light coming from the... If it's a dark area, you usually want the light to come from the flash itself of the camera. Usually if it's daytime, you don't want any shadows. But if it's a lit up like interior, then it doesn't really matter. But if it's like a picture of a street, then you're gonna want like street lights. Those are pretty good too. It's a little weird, but lighting is very important. Colors. Usually you want to use a specific color for a liminal photo. Like if it's a darker area, maybe blue or purple, like colder colors. But if it's brighter, maybe you're gonna want more vibrancy in your colors. Although it's important not to go overboard with all the colors, because I've seen some times where people just go overboard and it like hurts my eyes to look at the photos. Camera quality. You're gonna want it to look like a 2000s to 90s camera. That like old grainy film gives it a bit more of that nostalgic feeling. But it's important not to go too heavy, because I've seen some times where people just go way too heavy on it and it just looks bad. Like I want to be able to see the photo. Don't make it super staticky. It takes away really from the whole feeling of Dreamcore. I forgot I brought a pointer specifically for this. Dreamcore. That was loud. Dreamcore. Out of context things. Like things that don't belong in their places. Specifically with clouds. A lot of clouds. A doorway leading to sky. Or a attic's ladder that leads to sky for some reason. A lot of sky. And sometimes simulation related things. Like things that feel like you're living in a simulation because everything is just so weird and dreamlike and overly simplistic. And finally, 3D. I'm just going to be using the 3D software Blender to try and make some liminal spaces. Why did I say it like that? My first location is my grandma's house again. But day 1 takes place in July, so just jump cut to like 6 months before all this happened. I don't remember if I did like a weird little transition, like maybe a snap of the fingers. I don't remember if I did like a quirky transition. This place will definitely make for some better dreamcore photos, but there's also like 1,000 bugs literally everywhere. I can't see this place making too many good liminal photos, just regular dreamcore. Because there's too... An update on the Bushman situation. They've gotten smarter. They've learned how to mimic human voices now to lure you in. Let's see if I can catch one of the sons of bitches in action. Absolutely sickening. It is currently 2:30 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going to be trying out with color experimentation. The goal with this is to like go around my house. The goal with this segment is to go around my house, but with like different colors to make it look a bit more unorthodox and maybe go outside, which is very rare for me. So it's past week one. Week one is over. And I really have like one photo to show for it. I did this video because I thought it would be better. The color experimentation went about as bad as well as you could think it could. But I do have a backup plan, you know? Every time I fall, it's another chance to rise. So I decided to go liminal hunting yesterday because it had been a while, and this was perfect. But it didn't start out like that. At first, my plan was to go to an abandoned Old Navy. Well, not abandoned, more like closed down, because empty stores equal liminal. But Google Maps said it was still there, so I was like, oh yeah, big companies don't lie to me. Why would they ever lie to me? But it had been replaced by a shoe store. So then I was like, okay, well, it's kind of dark out. Let me just go to the community park, you know, because parks at night are liminal. But God and my city planners had other ideas because the park was being completely reconstructed. But then my redemption arc happened. Near the community park, there is a cluster of schools, and what do schools have? Playgrounds. And not one playground, 3. This was just like maximum liminality. This was the best outcome possible. The closed school, the playgrounds fully at night, like fully dark. I'm back at the park because I feel like I could get a lot better photos because a lot of them are really blurry. Sorry about the shitty quality. I'm also coincidentally wearing the exact same shirt. I also think that someone thinks that I don't know. There was a dad waiting there. I think he was waiting for me to leave because he thought I was doing a drug deal. I mean, I love drugs, but I wouldn't do it in the middle of a kid's park. It's not even like fully night yet. That'd be stupid. That'd be absolutely atrociously stupid. I look so incredibly sketchy right now. I'm just walking around aimlessly like a schizo, as like there's a family of like 3 watching me with like cannot see that gap. There's a family of 3 watching me. They left, probably because of me. So I know literally nothing of Blender. How to get rid of the cube. Alright, so I am editing this, and I realize that this is kind of really boring. Even at 8 times speed, this time lapse is 10 minutes. That's how long it took me, because I did it in the most inefficient way possible. You can see me just place every single block, because I didn't know what loop cuts were, extrusions were, beleveling was. None of that. It's not even that complicated. I'm just stupid. So we're just gonna skip to the final result, but trust me, it took several hours to create this, and I wanted to punch a hole in my monitor when trying to figure out how to texture stuff. After 8 years, 3 holes in my wall, and getting so angry that my blood boiled to a point where it turned into a gas, I have it. Oh yeah. Now, it doesn't exactly look the best, but for a first time, it's not that bad. I mean, you can see this. It's gone from a video idea to an obsession, now an addiction. All I can think about are liminal spaces. All I can dream about are liminal spaces. I eat, breathe, and exist. Liminal spaces. One time I saw a hallway and I thought it was so liminal that I began convulsing on the spot. For this next part, I decided to actually go outside during the night, but it was it's so windy and wet apparently. Yeah, so the audio kinda sounds like this. So the first thing I did was look through all of my photos, and I took a lot, so I'm not going to go through every single one that I'm going to post, but I will go through the top 3. This one of my high school bathroom I think is pretty good because the one light is very yellow and all the stalls are just completely shrouded in darkness. The thing about liminal bathroom photos is that it has to be something weird about the bathroom to be liminal, otherwise it's just a regular bathroom. And I think the weirdness of that last stall and them being in darkness is what does it. This one I took at the park. Now this one is miles better. Now the original photo, trash, poo-poo, dog shit. But I knew if I added grain and made it look like a little foggy and just made the streetlights go on forever, perfect. Perfect. Everything down to the last minute detail. And this one I took outside my porch. There's just the right amount of snow on the ground as the porch light illuminates the trees, the branches, the chairs, but everything else is just void. Now I will say I accidentally did delete one of my best photos of a park bench in the darkness. I don't know how I did that. I guess I'm just stupid. So I wouldn't exactly say that I was confident in these photos, especially after doing 6 months of work, but I posted the photos. The first 2 I posted was this one of the porta potty, which fittingly is pretty bad, along with the streetlight one. The porta potty one did not do very good, like it got 18 upvotes or something. I wasn't expecting much from this one, but what shocked and scared me was the streetlight one got 78. Now 78's pretty good, but I spent 6 months conjuring up the best liminal photos I could. I'm not settling for 78. Then I posted the bathroom one. Now this one did way better at 168. Now that is pretty good, but considering how I thought it was worse, but if I remember correctly, that's pretty close or even worse than what I got in the original video. And I was looking to get like 500 upvotes off a photo. So then I brought out the big guns, the best one that I had. Surely, since this is my best photo, this will do way better, right? Like, this is the best photo. It's so creepy, eerie, peak liminality at its 8 upvotes. I just started throwing everything I could. Okay, what about this red kid? Trash! Okay, what about this house? Okay, it's kind of creepy, like you can only see the front. This light is really bright, there's a lens flare, but you know, everything is surrounded by trash! I started to panic. I was failing. My one job I was failing at. Until January 1st at 2 a.m. I went out for a walk on my street, and I took the best photos there that I ever did. Now these first 2 are alright, but this one of the driveway just leading into straight abyss, and this one with the orange streetlight are like straight out of horror movies, like creepy, liminal, absolute liminality right there. 17 minutes in, it had 6 upvotes, which was surprisingly a lot for such a young photo. But you know, I don't want to get my hopes up, and 11 hours in, it had 143 upvotes. That was better than most of my photos did in like a month. 2 hours later, it had like pentupled or whatever the word is upvotes at 640 at the top of the subreddit, and it's ending its life with 700 upvotes. My best liminal photos by far had done their job. 6 months of work was finally worth it. Now, I was struggling to end this video, but then I remembered something. On December 31st, when the countdown was happening, at the final 15 seconds of the year in 2024, I thought, the year's almost over, how have I spent it? But then I realized, I didn't care. I was spending it with some great people. And that's what liminality is supposed to remind you of. Your past moments that just remind you of what it's like to be happy in those moments. But they're so fleeting and tiny parts, giving you that nice taste of nostalgia, but reminding you that you'll never get the moments back. Because one day, it'll all be gone. So thank you for watching my 6 months of work that I put into this video. I really appreciate it. Goodbye.